Okay, welcome back to the channel. And in this episode, we're just going to be talking about filling the rep and focusing on the actual movement itself and how it feels for that given set and not focusing on what's to come. So I noticed whenever I'm getting fatigued and I'm on a hard diet, because I'm coming out of my cut. This is a 12-week cut that I'm on. This is the last week of the cut, and I'm actually not even cutting no more. I'm just kind of went into a maintenance phase right now. And I noticed whenever I get really fatigued and exhausted, I no longer care about performing every rep 100% to its fullest potential. I care more about just getting through the set. Okay, 12 reps. I just got to get through this 12 reps. Any means necessary. Whether I have to speed it up, slow it down, or lighten the load, whatever. I just want to get through the set because the workout requires X amount of sets, X amount of reps, and I'm just trying to get through it. That's the wrong kind of mindset to have. But when you get tired, you get fatigued, you get exhausted, fatigue starts to set in. And I don't mean through the workout. I don't mean like you start working out and then like 40 minutes later, you're feeling tired and fatigued. So you're just trying to make it through the set. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about accumulated fatigue over weeks and months of training to the point where you're waking up tired, you're at work, you're tired, you're hungry more often than not. Everything feels heavy. Your mindset's not about the gym no more because you're so tired. And you're kind of almost questioning why you're even putting yourself through this. That type of accumulated fatigue over time is what I'm talking about. And whenever you start noticing that you're getting to that point, if you don't have a competition coming up and you're not competing in like bodybuilding or figure or competitive like avenue that requires you to be in such a deficit that you have to be this hungry and that kind of mindset, and you're only like 2-3 weeks, 4 weeks out from your show, there's no point in feeling like that and suffering through your workouts. Because I had a goal, like I said, to get my abs visible within 12 weeks. I fell shy of that. This is week 12. And I decided, you know what? I'm not going to keep having these lousy workouts for no reason because I'm not hitting my abs this time. So I'm going to go ahead and do a reset. I'm going to go on maintenance. I'm going to bring my calories up, reduce my cardio, and I'm going to start having good workouts again and building up muscle mass. And then next go for my cut, I'll be leaner and I'll have more muscle mass starting off. So I'll be able to go further on my cut and get even further and look even better next time. Because for me, the most important thing is filling every single rep as if it's the only rep that you're going to do. It doesn't matter what exercise is coming next. It doesn't matter how many exercises you have up next. It doesn't matter how many sets it calls for, how many reps, how many nothing, how much weight. None of that matters. The only thing that matters is getting 100% out of each rep that you're performing. Even if it's your very first set and it's your very first rep of the night. Performing each and every single rep to its fullest potential is how you're going to get the most results. Now, when you're fatigued and you're on low calories, it's very, very, very difficult to have that mindset because it's like, I'm tired and I'm fatigued and I just got to get through this. And I know that mindset all too well. But if you have the energy and you have the stamina, you're not on a low calorie deficit, you're not doing a lot of cardio, you're not deep into a routine where the fatigue is building, and that's what you're doing when you're in the gym, you're cheating yourself out of so many results and so much progress by just trying to get through it. Because if you get to the point where you do have plenty of calories and you don't do too much cardio and you're getting plenty of rest, you're getting your hydration, and you're just trying to get through your workout, that means that you are bored of your workout and it's become stagnant. And instead of going in there with the mindset of I'm going to grow or I'm going to get stronger and I'm going to push myself and make my body change and force the change that I want to see out of myself, and you can't do that for every rep, every set, and you're getting ample amount of nutrition, you need to change your workouts because you're getting bored. And if you notice, it's only like, let's say you're training your back and you hit pull downs amazing, and then you do barbell rows amazing, and then you go to dumbbell rows, and then you just try to get through dumbbell rows because you don't like that movement, but your routine calls for it, and you're just trying to get through it. Don't just try to get through that. Get rid of that exercise and change it out for something else that you're passionate about or that feels better or that's clicking or you feel the muscle engaging, and you could put that effort and intensity into that movement. Because there's nothing worse for you than to try to push through something you don't even really want to do, but you're doing it because you feel you have to because that's what the program says. It's just not the case. There's always a different way to go about it. Just like if you're not feeling squats, try hack squats, try Smith machine squats, try leg press. and put 100% into it. And now that my calories are back up, I'm on a maintenance phase, my mindset's back to that. And that's where my intensity and my whole focus is on, and that's how it's been this whole time. But when my calories got too low, my fatigue got too high, my mindset just whooshed away, and I couldn't get my mind back there. And that's how I knew, okay, it's time to change it up.
Yeah, and like it's bound to happen to everybody. To like if they're in a cut or whatever, to get to that phase and that kind of feeling. But like generally this is how I prefer for myself to work out, like most all the time. Like it's just I'm more like I've talked about before. Like I'm more of a feel person. Like I like to be able to feel the like exact muscle and area that I'm working out, because that's just how I get my feedback for the movements and stuff like that. So if I don't feel the movement, it kind of always puts me in like, why am I doing this movement kind of thing? So like I've always been that way. Like if I'm working like my arms or legs, whatever it might be, like I want to feel the exact muscle that I'm trying to hit. And if I'm just feeling like a heavy strain or something like that, but I'm not actually feeling the muscle, I either for the movement need to reduce the weight by a bunch to get it back to where I feel the muscle, or it's just the movement itself being such a bigger compound movement kind of thing that it's just not really one that I'm in favor for myself, like is just like, under my preference kind of thing. So
Yeah. So, and the thing too is, I tweaked my pec a couple weeks back working on my wife's Jeep. Her window regulator went out, so I was trying to pull her window up, and I strained something in my pec. So I backed off of my pec, and I didn't train my chest hardly at all. I was just using very light weights, full range of motion, just trying to keep it active and getting blood in there without straining the pec. Well, this is about maybe 2-3 weeks ago. I can't remember, but now my pec's feeling really good, and it feels like I could get back to training my pec. But I'm still going to wait this week and next week out, and the following week is whenever I'm going to start actually trying to bring load back to my chest and training, especially because I'm not in a rush to hurt my chest, seeing as if I've already had a complete rupture on it and everything in the past, But anyway, so this week on Monday was the first week that I kind of put a little bit of weight on my chest. I went heavier than like the 15s or 17s. I went to the 20s. And because it's been like 2 or 3 weeks since I actually fully trained my chest, and I did 20 pounds on the dumbbell press and the incline dumbbell press. I did 10 pounds on the dumbbell flies and the incline dumbbell flies. And because I got such a deep, long stretch, such a very deep and heavy stretch with a static pause at the biggest stretch of the movement, and then a nice, slow, controlled, hard contraction at the top. It's Wednesday, I worked out Monday, and my chest is still incredibly sore. So that right there goes to show, like I know it's been like 2 or 3 weeks since I've actually trained my chest, so I expected soreness, but not like this. But it just goes to show, like, it's not always about how much weight you're lifting and how heavy the barbell is. And it's not about, it's intensity, because I got 5 plates on there. I have every vein in my head shooting out, and I'm giving it everything 100% I have, and I'm on the verge of tearing or popping something. Sometimes a very, very, very massive reduction of load and then a static hold and a deep stretch on the movement with the full range will get you far more results than all that hoorah stuff. Don't get me wrong, the hoorah stuff is fun, it's exciting. If your body can handle it, you're in a calorie surplus and you're just having fun. And it is. It's fun to train like that. It is very fun to go very heavy, sling some weight around, clang and bang, and just not care about any repercussions and just get at it that day. That is one of my most favorite pastimes in the gym, doing that with my friends. But as I'm older, I can't train like that no more. I have to be more methodical. I have to be more meticulous about what I do. And then one of those things, like I said, is if you reduce the load that's on the barbell and you get a full stretch in the muscle and a elongated stretch, and then you get a slight pause at the bottom of the movement, and then you get a hard squeeze at the top with a very strong contraction, even with a lighter load, you'll probably actually respond better than that hoorah training, give it everything you got, let's go, beast mode hardcore. Because even whenever I was powerlifting with my squats, and I gotta say, my legs are probably my best feature on my body. And whenever I was training for powerlifting, I would do a very slow descend, even whenever I had like my 3 rep max on there, and I would go very slow, like I'm doing in this video right here, pause at the bottom, and then explode out the hole. And my quads and hamstrings and glutes just responded to that. When I trained my chest the same way, my chest and triceps, even on my bench press, I'd come down super slow and controlled, no matter how much was on the bar, then I'd explode off the chest, and then I would grow from that. Even though the goal was strength, I would still respond to those big, long range of movements with a stretch at the bottom and a pause. So you don't always have to go super, super heavy. Now, this isn't an excuse to say, hey, drop the 30s and go to the 10s. If you can handle 30s on the dumbbell press or the dumbbell flies, do 30s. If you can handle 40s, do 40s. If you can handle 80s, do 80s. This is not an excuse or a green light to be like, okay, I can light my load and I can sandbag it in the gym. As long as I'm getting a full range of motion with a stretch, I could go super, super light. No, it still has to be challenging. Like, you still have to challenge yourself. And instead of doing a set of 6 to 8 reps, if you could do a set of 12 to 15 or 15 to 20 with a lighter load, but still have the feeling of going heavy for 6 to 8 at the end of the set of around 18 to 20 reps, chances are you're going to benefit the same. You're going to have the same outcome with less risk to injury, right? The risk to reward changes. Instead of having higher risk with less reward, you get higher reward with less risk. And at the end of the day, when you get older, like me, and you're beat up, that's what you're trying to do. You're trying to reduce the chance of injury as much as possible while increasing your progress as far as possible. And so that's a little nugget. Kind of lost my train of thought there. I'm kind of veering off. I'm gonna let you take over here while I regather my thought.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, if I can get in there like we've been doing and just continue like getting the workouts to where I'm feeling what I'm working out and everything like that, I think I'm doing everything in my power, like for myself to continue progressing the way I want to. So like tonight, some movements, again, like we're getting like a bit more fatigue, like you were saying, I would kind of speed up with and things like that. But again, like I said, as long as I can still feel it and I'm still getting that burn in the muscle, like where I want it to, kind of thing, that's, like I said, for me, that's my beneficial thing. Like that's what I look for with the movement. So like if at the end of the day, I'm getting that feeling from the workouts and just kind of enjoying myself when I'm in there and keep going back every day, continuing to progress. Like I'm heading in the right direction.
Yeah. And, and the thing too, like I was saying is, about the elongated stretch and the pause at the bottom, that was only going to work for so long. So don't think that there's only one way to do anything. There's multiple ways. There's multiple roads to the same place, right? There's many ways to get to the same place where you're going. It's just a matter of what you prefer to do. The best workout is the one you're going to do. The best diet is the one that you will actually follow. So keep that in mind. If you find one that's fun and enjoyable and you like doing it, do it. Do it to the best of your abilities and ignore what other people say if it's getting you results. The most important thing, if it's getting you results. If it's not getting you results, then maybe you should start kind of maybe looking around and wondering, hey, what's going on here? But if you're getting results, then it doesn't matter what people say is right or wrong. It's working for you, so keep on going with it. Like sometimes, like I got a couple routines like to bounce around. I have a couple routines where everything I do is for sets of 20. I have a routine. There's one that I like to keep between 8 to 12. I have another routine where it's around 6 to 5. I have routines where there's static pause, negatives, drop sets, rest pause. There's a bunch of different routines that I have a bag of tricks that I like to go into whenever something stops working or something stops yielding me results. So it's always subject to change. There is no like set in stone. This is the way. This is the only way. There's no other way but this. It's not set in stone, and everything is subject to change, especially if you stop seeing results. And I don't mean, I plateaued for 5 days or 2 weeks. Nothing's happening. I must change it up. But if you hit an actual plateau and nothing changes in a month, you need to take a step back. Look at your diet, look at your training, look at your reps, your sets. Even something as simple as timing your rest between sets can make a huge difference in your training results. Like if you're resting a minute 45, 2 minutes between your sets, and then you back that off to like a minute 20 seconds, or if you're only resting like a minute between sets, 45 seconds, and you increase that to 2.5 minutes, like you'll be amazed at what will come from that. Like if you're resting too short, look at taking a few more breaths between your sets. If you're resting too long, cut a couple breaths out. If you don't want to take a timer and time your sets, count your breaths. 15 long breaths is roughly around 45 seconds to a minute. Count your breath. And if you notice that you're a little bit more winded and you're breathing faster, add about 5-6 more breaths. If you're breathing slow and steady, reduce a couple. But use your breaths as a gauge to time your sets. If you don't want to go in there with a stopwatch or a timer or use your phone and stuff like that. But find a way to kind of monitor how much time you're taking between your sets. And something as minor as that can make all the difference in your progress with the current routine you're on without having to change anything else. So what are we at? What's our time marker?
15:30.
Okay. Yeah, so like I said, it's just one of those things, man, that I feel like as I'm getting older, I have to be a little bit more cautious and careful. My pec feels great. And, I hurt my wrist a couple weeks back too. I know, right? Man, your pec and your wrist, I get hurt. I'm brittle. I don't know why. I'm genetically screwed, right? I just got the short end of the gene pool when it comes to like injury. There's some guys out there that can go for days and weeks and months and train 100% every day and never have any issues. Unfortunately, I wasn't born with the best genetics for not being injury free. I get injured fairly easy. It's just a downside to getting older, having a physical labor job, doing manual labor my whole life, being in the gym since I've been 14 years old, and it just accrues over time. Plus, my mom's genetics, she's always hurt and brittle. Like I said, she'll sneeze and blow a rib out, And unfortunately, I inherited her genetics. So at this point in my life and this far into what I've been doing in the gym, I have to kind of back the throttle off and find other ways to train a little bit smarter, which still can allow me to train extremely hard without risking the injury. So you guys need to do an evaluation on your training. If you notice that your wrist is hurting, your elbow's hurting, your knee is hurting, your hips are hurting, your back is hurting, if there's something constantly bothering you and it's always irritating you and it seems like it never gets better, you need to take a look at your gym. You need to take a look at your workout, see what your workout's doing, see how it's affecting you, see what's going on, and how you can make adjustments and what you can change on your program that can alleviate some of those issues or pains. But the most important thing, it's not also your workout. You have to remember, you're only in the gym for maybe an hour, hour and a half a night. The other 23 hours of the day, what are you doing? Are you bending over awkward? Are you leaning in your chair? Are you slunched over? Are you looking down on your phone texting? Are you leaning at your work desk? Are you slouched over in the car, leaning on one side? When you go to pick stuff up, are you bracing properly? Or are you just all nilly-willy grabbing and twisting and turning and tweaking yourself? Because the other 23 hours of the day, including the way you sleep, can affect you dramatically and it can mess you up pretty bad. Not just what you're doing in the gym. And then you go to the gym and then you feel it in the gym. But it's like a lot of times these issues come from you doing stuff outside of the gym over and over and over and over again. And they build up and then they manifest themselves into issues when you push yourself in the gym and you train yourself to a point of failure. When you're walking around and sitting in your chair, you're not training to failure. You're not going to feel it. But whenever you get into the gym and you start to push yourself, that's when you're going to start noticing all these little bitty things lighting up and agitating you and flaring up and causing issues. So not only do you need to check yourself in the gym and your routine and really ask yourself if the workout you're doing, is it benefiting you or is it causing issues, or is it everything that you're doing outside of the gym that's carrying over to the gym and it's affecting your gym life? So, and then a lot of times, remember, where you're feeling the pain is not where the problem is coming from. A lot of times, if you're having an issue somewhere, it's coming from somewhere completely different than where you're feeling it. So just keep that in mind when you're trying to hunt down pain. I just had that little thought. I just want to bring that out there because it can be a bugaboo for some people when they're having issues and they just don't know where to start or where to look or how to go about finding the issue and treating the problem and not the symptoms. So, but that's going to be it for me on this one, man. I kind of got off course there a little bit. Is there anything else you want to add or anything else you want to?
No, I'm good for tonight.
You're good? Okay, awesome. Well, hey, guys, we appreciate you stopping by, checking us out, watching the video. If you guys enjoy the content, if you don't mind, you could go ahead and leave a like. We'd appreciate it. If you've been watching the channel and you're a repeat viewer, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, we would appreciate it if you would. And if you don't want to like it and you don't want to subscribe, then by all means, don't do it. It's as easy as that, but we will see you guys next time.
Yeah, catch you later.